going on, everybody? So, I have to talk about Black Lives Matter. And if you can't tell, I've been trying to grow my channel, so I would appreciate it if you could like my channel, you could subscribe, maybe pass the word. You know, I'm getting better at this as time goes along. As you can see, I actually got my format fixed this time for the last couple of videos, and it'll get better with time. I will get better with time. But anyways, I have to talk about it. Black Lives Matter is one of those topics where I have got into several heated debates with a lot of people over the organization. So, I'm in a unique position where I'm in an organization where I am around a lot of people on the conservative side of the fence. And I grew up around a lot of people that are on the Democratic liberal side of the fence, right? And I've said it before, where I personally don't like politics. I think all of it is trash. But I like to focus in on particular things, and I think sometimes just by the sheer nature of my opinions, I get lumped in with the conservative side of the fence, which is fine. You know, people toss labels around all the time. I don't even care. But this is about Black Lives Matter. So, my gripe with Black Lives Matter is that they are intentionally misleading the black community. That's my problem. And let's start small. So, if you do a little bit of research, you'll kind of notice that Black Lives Matter doesn't really come into the picture very much, except for, what, every 4 years or so? They don't do anything except for cause problems. I have not seen them go into any black community and help out any black schools, you know, help out with some home building projects, educational needs, food needs, anything that would be something that could be considered a true contribution of the Black Lives Matter organization, making a valiant effort to really help get involved in the black community and help out black people. You don't see it. So, when a lot of people defend Black Lives Matter, I think it's out of fear of reprisal. So, I can sit here and blatantly, openly tell you that I think Black Lives Matter is ridiculous. The organization is ridiculous. And I know there are a lot of black people out there that are saying, you know what, I don't care about Black Lives Matter, the organization, screw them. I care about Black Lives Matter, the movement. And I said it in my previous video, you can't do that. They're one and the same. They're going to be perceived as one and the same. They get lumped together. If you want to do a movement for the black community, you got to create your own movement and try to get that off the ground. You can't ride the coattails of a corrupt organization and try making it your own. It doesn't work like that. Because when people walk around and see a big mural painted on the ground, or a big flag or poster hanging off the side of a church, what goes into the mind, visual brainwashing, subconscious brainwashing, Black Lives Matter. Why do you think it's on the streets? Why do you think it's on the back of jerseys? Why do you think it's painted on basketball courts? Why do you think that they want you to see that at every turn? You think it's for racial equality? It's not. And I've always encouraged everybody, I was like, look, you know, I don't need you to take my word for it. I don't need you to believe me. All you have to do is go to the Black Lives Matter website. It'll take you to blacklivesmatter.com. You can read all about them and what their ideals really are, how they really feel. And then, once you're done with all that, click on the donate button. See where that takes you. Click donate. It takes you to another webpage. It still looks like Black Lives Matter, except for now it says Act Blue on the top. Act Blue, for those who don't know, you want to do a little bit of research, it's another Democratic fundraising campaign. So where does that money go? If you're contributing to Black Lives Matter, all that money, it's not going to help black people. It's going into the pockets of rich white politicians. How does that make sense? Now, I get it. At least the Trump campaign, yes, I feel like I get spammed and emailed to death with these guys for asking for contributions. But at least, I'm not doing anything, or at least they're not doing anything to try to bamboozle me out of my money. Because I guarantee you, a lot of the people who donate to Black Lives Matter, they probably really feel like they're genuinely donating to a good cause and that money's going somewhere to help black people. And it's not. It's just not. So, I can't support it. I can't support it. When you don't believe in the nuclear family construct and you have no problem with the fact that fatherless homes for a lot of our black youth is an issue, but it's an issue you don't care about, I got a problem with that. The fact that you encourage, the disbandment of the nuclear family structure, that's what Black Lives Matter stands for. I can't support that. Especially when one of the main reasons that criminal activity is so high amongst young black adults is because there is no father figure in the picture. Tupac said it himself. Pretty sure everybody knows who Tupac Shakur is, right? He said he grew up without his father. And as much as he loved his mother, loved her to death, he didn't respect her. He still went out and he did what he wanted to do. Because he didn't have that male mentorship and guidance to keep him out of trouble. And that is a sad story that occurs over and over and over again in the black community. Now, correct me if I'm wrong on my statistic, but the last time I checked, I believe there were roughly up to upwards of 70% of African American women who have children and the father's nowhere in the picture. That's really high. That's super high. And these kids, males especially, when they don't have male guidance, like I said, the mother could love them to death. It doesn't matter. Mom could try to be the caretaker, the caregiver, and the disciplinarian. It usually doesn't matter. That male needs a male to keep him in line. And if he can't get it in a household, he's gonna go find it in the street somewhere. And that's generally how they get caught up in gangs. Gang activity. Because they're looking for that male mentorship and guidance. And those gang leaders out there, they know that, and they're waiting for them. They're waiting for that child to hit that street. Because they know that that child is looking for something, and he doesn't know exactly what it is yet, but that gang leader knows exactly what it is, and he's going to be waiting there with open arms for that child to hit them streets. And now, high likelihood that child ends up another statistic in the criminal justice system. So, all this police brutality stuff, I mean, yeah, okay, There's not an organization that I can think of that would not benefit from a little bit of reform and some process improvement. But to run around inciting riots, burning things down, and vandalizing stuff on the proclamation that police violence is the biggest thing we have to worry about in the black community, that is absolutely insane. Now, I'm not disregarding it. But if you really want to be concerned about something, be concerned about the actual structure within that community that keeps it where it is. We have to figure out how to keep fathers in the picture of these black children. We have to figure out how to improve the educational needs of these black children. What's more important is trying to find a way to stimulate the opportunities that black people and black children need. You want to systemically change something? Get to that. You got to change the mindset. You got to change the mentality. Some of them get it. Most of them don't. Circumstances of their environment. I get it. It's the truth. They get brought up, with the mindset that that they're at a disadvantage, and a lot of them are. But they get coached into the mindset of you're a victim. So they live their life like a victim, like somebody owes them something. I'm telling you, I've known people growing up that blamed everything that ever went bad on being black. Anything, everything was because they were black. Zero accountability for anything negative that they did. When you get coached and you learn to live your life like that, you're not going anywhere fast. You literally turn all of your personal shortcomings and misfortunes into somebody else's problem and responsibility. So, and Black Lives Matter as an organization, like I said, I'm derailing a little bit, but Black Lives Matter as an organization does absolutely nothing to address any of that. I don't give a damn about a poster hanging off somewhere. I don't give a damn about a mural painted in the street, graffiti in the street. And then lawmakers want to waste taxpayers' dollars to put police officers to protect a Black Lives Matter sign that was painted in the road. I mean, if you're going to get behind something that matters. Get behind something that makes some sense. Get behind something with some consistency. Black Lives Matter doesn't have any consistency. They come around whenever it's expedient to come around to try to push their own personal agenda. Just think about that. And a growing number of black people and black communities are starting to see that. They're starting to get it. It's like these knuckleheads come up in our area and they'll do nothing but cause problems. They don't even live here half the time. They're not even from around here. They come in here and they start instigating stuff and they incite violence and they incite problems, destroying our area and then leaving us to clean up the mess. And then they're going back on their charter buses, off to the next place. Come on, man. People try to tell me because I don't like Black Lives Matter or I don't support Black Lives Matter that, I hate black people, I hate being in my own skin, just all kinds of ridiculous stuff. But that just goes to show the power of the indoctrination that some people are subjected to or allowed or have succumbed to, rather. You have to understand that it doesn't matter what color you are. It doesn't matter what cards you were dealt when you were brought into this world. Nobody in our generation or the generation before us has owned slaves or has been a slave. Yes, some of us are born more fortunate than others. Yes, some of us are born with more resources at our disposal. That's life. But you get to dictate how you're going to play those cards that you're dealt. There are all kinds of success stories. They're everywhere. And people like to just sit there and look at the end result of somebody's success and don't ever question where they came from. Some of these people, some of these black actors, black athletes came from really bad environments, but they had a different mindset. They weren't going to let their circumstances dictate their future. And that is the mindset that we have to try to sell to the black community. While we are working to improve the circumstances, you have to assume some accountability and some responsibility for yourself and start changing your mindset. You want to talk about walking and chew bubble gum? That's the walking and chewing bubble gum we can do. Mindset is everything. Remember, money does not equal happiness. There are rich people who kill themselves just the way poor people do. And there are poor people who are just as happy, or if not happier, than wealthy people. Because it's all about perspective, and it's all about how you see the world. It's all about your mindset. That's what's important. Black Lives Matter does not send out a good message for the black community. It doesn't send out a good message for anybody. They just incite problems and cause issues, and nobody is better as a result. So if I'm wrong for that, I'm wrong for it. But in closing, Black Lives Matter, they suck.